Why thinking in English is essential for fluency. When learning a new language, one of the biggest challenges is to stop translating everything in your head. Many learners struggle with this, constantly thinking in their native language first, then translating to English. This process slows you down, creates confusion, and makes it difficult to speak fluently. This is where thinking in English becomes crucial. If you train yourself to think directly in English, you will not only speak faster, but also more confidently. It's not just about learning words and grammar, it's about rewiring your brain to process thoughts in English naturally. Imagine how you think in your native language. You don't pause, translate, or overthink. Thoughts just flow. Now picture doing the same in English. When your thoughts come naturally in English, you don't have to pause or search for words. You'll express your ideas smoothly, with more clarity and confidence. But why is this important? Because fluency comes from the ability to think and speak in the same language without the barrier of translation. As soon as you stop thinking in your native language, you'll notice a significant improvement in your English fluency. Your listening and speaking skills will complement each other, and you'll feel more comfortable engaging in English conversations. Another reason thinking in English is powerful is that it helps you overcome mental blocks. Translating from one language to another often leads to mistakes or hesitation. However, when you think directly in English, you reduce these errors and communicate in a more natural way. Your brain will start processing the language effortlessly, without needing to convert your thoughts. That's why thinking in English is not just a method, it's the foundation of becoming fluent. If you're simply memorizing vocabulary or grammar without changing your thinking patterns, achieving fluency will be difficult. But once you begin shifting your thoughts to English, you'll make rapid progress toward mastering the language. Step-by-step guide to think in English. In this guide, we'll explore 6 practical and effective steps that will help you gradually shift your thinking to English. Each step is designed to be simple and applicable to your daily routine, no matter whether you're a beginner or already have some experience. By following these steps, you'll notice a clear improvement in your ability to think and communicate in English. Step 1. Name objects around you in English. One of the simplest and most effective ways to start thinking in English is by naming the objects around you. Take a moment and look around your room or wherever you are right now. Start identifying things in English: chair, table, book, door. Even the most basic words can help you get into the habit of thinking in English. I remember when I was learning German, I had to not only learn the names of objects, but also their correct articles. For example, I would think of the word computer in English, but in German it's also computer. Similarly, I'd refer to a door in English, while in German it's Tür, and wall is Wand. This connection between the two languages helped me understand and remember the vocabulary better. When you name an object in English, focus on saying it correctly. If you're unsure about the pronunciation of a word, look it up in an online dictionary or listen to a native speaker. Don't rush through this process. Take a few moments each day to focus on the objects around you. As you move from room to room or explore new environments, challenge yourself to name every item you see in English. This will build your vocabulary and make English a more natural part of your thinking process. Step 2. Think in simple sentences. Now that you're comfortable naming objects, it's time to move on to simple sentences. Start by thinking of the basics. I am sentences. For example, I am hungry, I am tired, I am working. These simple structures help you form complete thoughts in English. Take a look around you. What can you say about your environment using simple sentences? For instance, I am sitting on a chair, or I see a blue book on the table. At first, it might feel slow or awkward, but that's okay. The more you practice, the quicker these sentences will come to you. By focusing on short, simple sentences, you're training your brain to connect thoughts directly in English without the need to translate. You'll soon notice that these sentences will flow more naturally over time. Step 3. Have a small conversation with yourself. Yes, you read that right. Have a conversation with yourself. This is a great way to practice without feeling any pressure. Set aside a few minutes each day to speak out loud, even if it's just to yourself. Start with basic greetings or ask yourself questions like, "How was my day?" or "What am I going to do next?" You can even answer your own questions. You might feel a little silly at first, but don't worry. This is a fantastic way to improve your fluency as you control the pace and choose the topics. You can start with just 2 minutes a day, then gradually increase the time as you become more comfortable. In just 30 days of doing this, you'll notice a significant improvement in your ability to think and speak in English. It's all about creating a habit of speaking in English, even when no one is around. Step 4. Change one of your daily routines to English. This step is where things get exciting. Switch part of your daily life to English. Pick something you do regularly, whether it's reading, writing, or listening, and try to do it entirely in English. For example, if you usually listen to music in your native language, try switching to English songs or podcasts. Another idea is to write your daily to-do list in English, or even try watching TV shows or movies without subtitles. These small changes will immerse you in the language and make English a natural part of your everyday life. Changing just one routine to English will help your brain stay engaged with the language throughout the day. You'll be surprised at how much progress you can make by simply making English a part of your daily habits. Step 5. Keep track of your progress. It's important to track your progress so you can see how far you've come. Keep a notebook or use an app where you can note down the new words or sentences you've learned, or even record a few thoughts at the end of each day in English. This will not only motivate you to keep going, but also give you a clear sense of achievement. You could set small, achievable goals for each week. For example, by the end of week 1, aim to name at least 20 objects in English. By week 2, try to form 10 sentences without hesitation. By regularly tracking your progress, you'll build confidence and stay motivated to keep improving. Step 6. Recap your day in English. The final step is to recap your day entirely in English. Before going to bed, take a few moments to think back on everything you did during the day. Try to narrate it in English, either in your head or out loud. For example, you could say, "Today, I went to the store. I bought some groceries and I saw my friend. We talked for a few minutes." At first, you might struggle with this, but don't be discouraged. The more you practice, the easier it will become. This exercise forces you to connect your thoughts to English, and it's a great way to reinforce what you've learned throughout the day. Recapping your day will also help you identify areas where you need to improve. If there are words or sentences you struggled with, make a note of them and work on those areas the next day. By following these 6 steps, you'll gradually train your brain to think in English naturally and confidently. It's all about consistent practice, and each step will bring you closer to fluency. Don't rush the process. Take it one step at a time, and before you know it, thinking in English will become second nature.